So the first part of this year, we really saw a big return to usual real estate seasonality, and that I saw that right, from January through spring. We saw a bit of a peak, the usual summer lull. I don't know that that's really carrying forward though at this point. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think the spring had a little bit of a spark to it after all those months of decline that we had. Summer definitely dipped off, but that was, like you said, seasonal norms. But we didn't get that kick back up in September that we were expecting. Usually September, once the summer's behind us and kids are back to school, we get a little uptick again. September stayed flat, and we're actually, price-wise.
Flat price-wise, but I'd say we were down, at least in the communities I'm spending a lot of time in, we're down.
Activity is down.
In activity.
We're down, I mean, you and I just went through the numbers, and we're down about 25% across the region in activity. Pricing, we said, is flat. So.
Number of sales, yeah.
Yeah.
So Burlington down 25 points, Hamilton was 15.
Oakville held its own, only off by about 3%, but still, that's, we were expecting it to go the other way.
Lower volume in Oakville though too.
Yeah.
So
lower than we
the
expect.
whole region, definitely down on activity.
Absolutely. So from a price perspective, we saw areas like Oakville hold their own. I mean, they stayed fairly flat in pricing from last year. We saw that across most of the region. We see anywhere from a 3% decline by city upwards to about a 5% increase, what we saw around Burlington. But overall, there was not a lot of movement there. And again, having such a slow summer, we were expecting to see an uptick. Now, interest rates held in September, which was part of that, I guess, in the sense of keeping activity moving.
Big factor. The interest rates have played a large role in what we've seen the last year and a half, frankly.
Absolutely.
But going forward into the fall, since we didn't get that bump in activity in September, we may see some of that in October. Remains to be seen. The month isn't over. But if we don't get an increase in sales, but we do have an increase in new listings, our months of inventory are going to start growing, and they already are.
We're already gone back at least to a balanced market. I wouldn't say we're back to a buyer's market yet, but we're certainly trending that way.
Yeah, I just ran the numbers for Stony Creek, for example, yesterday, and we're over 4 months of inventory.
So you're treading in buyers
which
territory
is,
now.
yeah, we're at least imbalanced, but that's September, and here we are halfway through October, and I think that we may already be in that buyer's territory.
I think so. I mean, if I look at Oakville, for the first 11 days of October, we had 26 sales.
Yeah,
which is down from 62 last year.
So you're less than half.
Yeah, big drop.
So going forward, I think as I've said before, I think if we don't get a bump in activity in terms of number of sales, I think we will start to see that buyer's territory really creep up on us as inventory rises. But that being said, that the month isn't over. We may very well see some activity this month that spurs confidence on both sides, buyers and sellers. I don't want to see us give back too much price. Right now we're a bit flat compared to the summer. It'd be nice to see a bit more growth. Whether that happens remains to be seen.
Well, we do have an interest rate review coming up on October 25th, so that's going to play into whatever happens for the rest of the year, I believe.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of people right now is they're going to hold off and wait for the spring, thinking the spring market is when they're going to get more money. And it doesn't look like the market's going to go up in price, even though different companies are saying different things. As it stands right now, we're expecting a flood of inventory to hit the market. And think about if you're one of those people that are waiting to go on the market in the spring, there's a lot of other people out there waiting as well. And all of a sudden, instead of competing against 4, 5, 10, 12 homes, you're competing against 20, 30, 40, 50 homes.
Yeah.
That's going to play into what you get and how long it takes to sell your home.
Well, and how many times are you asked what's the best time to sell? Most people assume it's the spring. And it may play out that way for some, but ultimately it's when you've got the highest demand and the least amount of competition. So if you've got a lot of competing houses in the spring, it may not be your best opportunity.
And that's what it's kind of racking up or leading up to right now, the look like, with everybody saying we're going to wait for the spring market.
Yeah, I think, especially in the market that we're facing right now and likely over the next few months, I think anybody who's got a property that's unique or special in some way, and of course they're all special, but if you've got something that's likely to stand out to a number of folks out there who might be considering a purchase, it might be wise to actually put it on the market at a time other than spring, when you have fewer homes to compete against.
Well, if you do have a unique property, I think it opens up the time frame that you can go to market. But if you have a cookie cutter home, and when I say that, because nobody's got a cookie cutter home, they're all original. But if you have a neighborhood or a subdivisional type home, and maybe families are going to be attracted to your area for the schools or whatever that may be. You want to make sure you're not competing against the largest pool of homes on the market.
Right.
Because
Others just like it.
Exactly.
Then you got a problem.
If you have a unique property that is completely different than what other people have out there, whether it's a custom built home, a custom location, or anything like that, then you have a little more flexibility, I think. You want to be on the market so the most possible buyers can see your home.